XTech Tactical Glock mags and spacers. Let's check it out. XTech Tactical has been producing magazines for a number of years. With their AK-47 mags, they're steel reinforced. They're just excellent AK mags. But they also make Glock mags and Glock spacers. And one of their biggest offerings is for the P365. They have a number of different options. And in a later video, we're going to check that out. But today we're going to take a look at, does it take Glock mags? And with XTech Tactical, these are excellent mags, and with their spacers you can use those larger capacity mags with your smaller options. This is for the Glock 26, but they make them for the Glock 19, and we're going to go through a lot of the different features because really there's a lot to talk about. And these have lifetime warranties. A big thank you to XTech Tactical for sending the mags and the spacers for us to test out. XTech Tactical out of Tempe, Arizona. These are made in the USA, and their magazines, they've done a number of different styles, but one of the ones they're known for is their AK mags. And this is the Mag 47, reinforced here at the lug. The front is reinforced as well, and the feed lips. Very smooth followers. We've done a review on these, and it's been a number of years ago, but they are just excellent AK mags. Still have the polymer, but at a lot lesser weight, and still has the durability right here where it counts. They also make a number of other type magazines. In fact, they make mag extensions for the P365, and we will be testing that out coming up. But I really wanted to look at their new Glock mags. Now, this is something that I'm typically very snobbish when it comes to Glock mags. I love to have Glock factory mags. They just work. But according to XTech Tactical, these are extra upgraded over the factory magazines for Glock handguns. And we're going to talk about some of the things they've done to make these just actually more reliable. I don't know if that's possible, but let's say definitely stronger. They've really worked hard to get these to actually be an upgrade with your magazines. There's a lot of Glock magazines that are subpar, or they're, okay, they're good, they're fine, but they just really don't match up to the quality of Glock. These are just really well made. One of the big things about these magazines is they have a 17-7 stainless steel spring, which is a heavy spring, extra power spring. And so it's going to give you a little bit better feeding reliability. With the Glock mags, it's actually music wire. Now, again, I'm not going to cut on these mags. These things are great. But we're looking at some of the upgrades. One thing is, too, they use a Delrin follower, and it has additives to make it actually smoother in the action. And then we have steel encased under the polymer. Now, Glock also does that. You can see the metal. And it actually just, protects and keeps the mags. Honestly, Glock mags, the original mags, were without the steel insert, and they would flex out, and they would swell, and they just really wouldn't hold up over time. So this was a big upgrade for Glock. Here we have that steel liner. Of course, you have your witness holes. With the base plate, it's been improved. It's a proprietary base plate material, and it's made for durability. One thing is, especially if you're competing indoors, dropping these mags on a hard surface, it can crack. And these mags actually accept any of your aftermarket extensions or base plates, things like that, if you like to include those. And these mags are compatible with all of your Glocks that fit the Gen 4 magazine pattern. And that includes pistol, rifle, any variant, any Glock-inspired pistol that takes standard Glock mags. We have taken these out and tested them extensively, and they have held up very well. We're going to be doing a range report and talking about that. They make the G19 mag, and this is the Mag 19, and then they do the Mag 17. All right, guys, we're going to be handling a lot of guns right now, and I'm just going to go ahead and safety check. All the guns have been safety checked, and you take it, point it in a safe direction, and you're good to go. Here we have just a standard Gen 5 Glock mag. You know, these are excellent. It has the orange follower. Again, we have all the steel reinforced. The body is very slick on the Glock, the OEM mag. It's just a very soft. This has a little bit of texture, but not much. It's just the molding. But otherwise, I mean, they're very close to the same. One thing that XTech Tactical states is that they have extended the follower and made it just ride close to the body to keep out dust and dirt and debris. And it was one of the things that they had gotten some questions about to improve the standard Glock mag. Your base pad on the Gen 5, it comes down. This actually has these little slopes right here that are serrated, allows you to pull that magazine out. It doesn't extend too far out this way like the original, but according to XTech Tactical, this has a little more strength than your standard Glock mags. And it does have, again, those identification points that you can make on your magazine to keep up with which one, instead of me marking a number on the mag. But again, guys, I'm a huge fan of the standard Glock mag, but this is going to give me a little bit of upgrade, mainly just from the stainless steel spring and the upgraded follower. So there are some reasons why you might want to look at the XTech Tactical mags over your standard Glock mags. And honestly, they run about the same price. And so it needs to have some upgrades over the standard. And one thing that I really like are their mag sleeves. One of the things that happens, especially like with the Glock 26, you take just the G19 mag and put it in here. You have that hangover, and this will give you 15 rounds. But the only problem is when you grip the handgun, it feels naked right here. You know, it's not complete. It doesn't give you a full grip, but it does give you a little partial grip. But one of the big problems is when you grab that magazine, it flexes in the mag well. Another big problem without a sleeve is that if you're inserting this mag, you can overextend the mag, especially if you have the action open. And actually get it jammed, it can cause malfunctions. So having a sleeve is going to be important. Now, one of the things about some of the sleeves is they're not that sturdy. They kind of slide around, and then you can have some issues. But with these, they go on really tight. Now, this is for the Glock 19. It's an extension for the 26, the Model 26. And so it goes over. There, you can feel the friction. It's not going to move. In fact, I have to give it a little bit of pressure to get it to move. As I bring my Glock 26 over it, it just fits right here around the grip base and around the mag well. So this gives me a full grip. It gives me texturing that actually matches the Glock. So it's got those small little dimples. And then it has a little bit of a lip here if I need to rip this mag out and pull it out. And we have a couple of just bars at the front. But this gives me 15 rounds in my Glock 26. And it feels comfortable. In fact, it fills my hand. Now we can take the 17 round adapter, bring it over, insert it in the Glock 26, and we have 17 plus 1. It's got a full grip, even those with really large hands. It gives you a lot of gripping, and it's going to allow you to shoot better. But again, it's not that gap like this and all the other downsides of just having a magazine that's just hanging out. And then for the Glock 19, we want to use a 17 round magazine. There we go. Again, it hangs out. Let's go ahead and put the sleeve on it. Nice, firm fit. And then there we go. We have a G19X or a G45. You have 17 plus 1, and then you have your shorter slide. So this just gives you a lot of capabilities. Then with the older style Glocks that have the cutout right here, and this was a lot of the early generations. This is a Gen 2 Glock 19. So take our 17 round magazine, drop on our sleeve, with the cutout, and you'll see it matches right with the frame. One thing about this little cutout is I have had my hand right here and gotten it pinched. So that in itself is a great reason to have this. But again, it does give you that full length grip. You have 17+1, just like your Glock 19X or your G45. Now these sleeves are very sturdy. But they do fit down to your base pad. They don't extend it, and they do fit across your magazine. But the way these are fit, they're going to be a nice, sturdy option. And I mean, they are solid. They don't have any give to them, so it's going to be great to go into your magazine, and it will mimic having an actual magazine full size in your handgun, just like the grip. Now, one addition to the sleeve set that I don't have is for the dagger. It actually fits to the dagger frame instead of just the standard Glock frame, because it is just a touch different. They also make a Glock 43 mag extension. It's a +3 mag extension. I don't have it, but it goes directly on your OEM Glock mag. And when it comes to your Glock mags with the sleeves, you can place it over your Glock mag as well. Now this is the FS, and it's not the very first of the Gen 5. And if you're wondering about the FS, this is a non-FS model. And this with the FS has a little more of an angle. With this one, it just has a little bit of a shelf. So this is one of the first mags, and I knew I had some because I got some of the very first Gen 5s. So here you can see it will not go all the way down and fit. And so these are really those very early Gen 5s, and you can see how much it takes to pull that off. But with the standard Gen 5 mags, they're going to go on and they're going to fit. It's just a very short little angle. Here with the newer mags, it's a deeper angle. So you're going to have them fit the deeper angle. They won't fit with the shallow angle. But if you're like me, I have a lot of Glock mags and a lot that I bought aftermarket way after I bought my first Gen 5. And you'll notice on the XTech Tactical, it does have that longer, more pronounced angle. And according to XTech Tactical, they have other options coming up, not only for Glock, a number of magazine extensions for the P365 series, even the Walther PDP. They have a couple of options, and then they have more coming. They even make mag extensions or base extensions for the Hellcat. Guys, check out suitsgear.com. We have revamped our website. We have a lot of new swag over there. We have a lot of deals. We have a monthly giveaway, and we have a newsletter. So check out suitsgear.com. And it's a great way to support the channel. And a big thank you to Fiocchi for sponsoring the ammo, all made in the USA, one of the biggest suppliers of ammunition in the country. Getting ready to test out these XTech mags. I've had a lot of experience with XTech. They're good stuff. So really looking forward to seeing how these Glock mags and these spacers perform. And of course, we love our little loaders. Really makes range day a lot better. Well guys, we've got the XTech mags out for the Glock. This is for the Model 17, and we've been shooting it for a good bit. We're just going to test them out. I mean, we've just been shooting them for reliability mainly. And so far overall, they've shot very well. Then we have the Glock 19 mags, and same thing, just straight up mag. I mean, again, they've been very reliable. But they also make spacers for the Glock 26. So you can put your G19 mag or your G17 mag in there, and these spacers just meet up with the frame of the gun. So we're going to start out with the G19 mag, and this is still XTech magazines. Just pumping it out. On the Glock 26, it's already short, and this just gives it that more of an extension, feels your hand better. I really like this Model 19 magazine spacer because it just really fits the Glock 26 very well. With the 17 rounder, I mean, it just hangs down a little bit more, but again, feels your hand. The larger your hands, the more you're going to enjoy this. again, guys, I mean, it's just been super reliable. We've put about 500 rounds through these things and they're just working extremely well. But they also make a spacer for the Glock 19 using Glock 17 mags. So that gives you just a little bit of an extension, really makes it very similar to the Glock 45 or the G19X. Longer grip, shorter slide, nice recoil system. And they look nice. They have texturing on them. As you can see, it just kind of, again, comes down to that full length on the Glock 19. Now, very similar to your standard Glock mag, it does have the small little wings or dimples right here that hold in the base plate. It's a very secure way. One of the problems, though, is you can take a punch and put it in here and relieve this button and pull it off. But you've got to defeat these two little nubs on either side. One tool that I like is the Otis magazine tool. It's very simple. You just press it in and it puts leverage on the base plate. And then it opens it up. This is pretty tight. We're going to pull that off. Go ahead, and we've got our base pad follower, and then we have the spring itself. And again, this is 17-7 stainless steel. And we have our Delrin follower that has some additives to it to make it really slick, and you can feel it. It's really slick. But this is the spring, and so it just goes in there just like your standard Glock magazine spring. And then we put in our follower base, and then we bring back our magazine base pad. And you got to get it over those little wings right here, which is typical for your Glock. It's easier to put on than it is to take off, so I highly recommend the Otis tool. Plus, they have an Otis Glock tool, and I don't have it because it's in my range bag in my vehicle. But these are great tools from Otis. And one thing I do want to mention, as far as when you're cleaning your magazine, you can use a little dry lube, but be careful, don't put lubrication on your magazine springs. And that is actually directly from Glock. So they do not recommend loading those magazines up with oil or lubricant. And of course, these are the standard Gen 4, Gen 5 type magazines, so you can move the magazine release to the other side and it's going to work. Now, keeping your firearms maintained and cleaned is vital. Otis makes some of the best cleaning equipment out there. They make a number of different kits that are dedicated for different rifles, pistols. They also have Shooter's Choice, which makes excellent CLP and bore solvent and different cleaning materials. The Ripcord is one of their signatures, and there's a whole system based around it. They are suppliers to the U.S. military, and then, of course, they have tools as well. So check out Otis Technologies, highly recommended, and we want to thank Otis for being a sponsor of the channel. So guys, these are running $24.95 retail. Of course, there are other outlets that are selling these, so you could get them for less. The sleeves typically run about $15.95, and I think some of the larger ones run $17.95. But this is a great addition to your magazines, and then they also have a number of other options to check out. At one time, they were making HK VP9 mags and P30 mags, and honestly, they were better than factory mags. In fact, we did a full review. I have it annotated right here. And ever since then, I've been a big fan of XTech Tactical, and Jeremy Dedman, that is the president of XTech Tactical, is just a good stand-up guy. So guys, does it take Glock mags? Check out XTech Tactical with their standard magazines, which are high quality, and with their spacers if you want to use a larger capacity magazine and a smaller frame handgun. Gives you a lot of options. And again, we will be checking out the SIG P365 line coming up, and also they do make their AK-47 mags and a lot of other things with a lifetime warranty made right here in the USA. And again, a big thanks to Jeremy at XTech Tactical for sending the Glock mags for this review. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. things they're known for are their RA7 mags. Their RA7 mags are awesome. Glock mags and spacers from XTech Tactical. XTech thicker and your Glock 19, or just have the mags. Okay, so we're going to take our 17.
What is it?
Seth, why do you keep doing this?
I'm not. I didn't do it.
I have never had this happen to a camera before.
Magazines, and that's what okay, whatever, Lord.